Hey everybody, it's Mordecai, and welcome back to Life Finds a Way, Chapter 2. The same trigger warning applies with MPreg, and there is a slight bit of misgendering as well. So with that, let's continue. No amount of research could quite compare to the non-stop lower back pains, moodiness coupled with extreme dysphoria, and constant urge to pee as the developing life form shifted positions. Phil was nearing the end of the third trimester, clearly experiencing nervous excitement, his fiancée insisting on tending to an under-construction nursery whenever he could not sit still. Coming along nicely, love. Muse better be appreciative, Dan remarked while he finished painting another plain wool lavender, turning his attention to a cream-colored cot that still needed to be built. Nearly threw my back out. You want to talk? I'm allowed to feel pain too. Right. Sorry, I'm just ready for her to come. Less than a month left. Nodding silently, the older one waddled over to join Daniel, laying into a plain gray shirt drenched in equal amounts of paint splatters and sweat. They shared in a soft smooch throughout the pregnancy. He had become clingier than anything else, especially when he was expected to be horny as hell, even with the pause in taking testosterone. I should probably get ready for my appointment. Guess you're right. Should I grab lunch on the way home? I thought you'd never ask. Phil exclaimed, ocean eyes bursting with enthusiasm that caught on contagiously. You should probably decide. My cravings are all over the place. Fine, but I swear if you complain, I won't. Snorting softly at the half-assed response, the younger lad left to pull on a notorious gray and black striped jumper, not bothering to remove similarly stained jogging bottoms to save some time, escorting the other down to the ground floor once the lift opened. While Phil had grown used to the staring, paler than average cheeks reddened at the passing strangers whom lived amongst them, knowing fully well that in the coming weeks the noise level would be heightened even more between a crying baby and his soon-to-be husband. They're gonna hate us even more. Doubt it, Dan determined, fingertips dancing along the plump belly as the touches were met with a light wiggle. She's half of you. No one can stay mad at you for long. Same will go for her. Remember that when she's screaming at 3 a.m. Like one of us won't already be awake. Sticking his tongue out playfully in response, a narrow nose nuzzled against a dimple-dented cheek as he found relief in the gentle prodding at tight muscles underneath the thin maternity shirt. He wanted to savor every timid touch, knowing fully well that it would be missed. The feeling of carrying the culmination of their love all these months. And to think it had been the cause of reckless abandon on the night they had arrived home after a second world tour. Alright, it's here. Can't believe this will be our last visit before she's with us. Me either, the younger one agreed, as he escorted the other out to a familiar car. You've done wonderful so far, baby. You flatter me, sir. It's the truth. Nestled against the faux leather seats in an open arm, Phil finally relaxed once their destination was inputted into the GPS, giving a squeeze to the offered hand of his brother in greeting. Tempted to fall asleep, he instead sent out an unexpected tweet that updated everyone on what was going on, since it had been a while since serious tones had been taken online. Endless scrolling through his newsfeed, he soon noticed a similar status had been posted. Tapping on the retweet button and adding a comment, he could not keep to himself for long. He's going to be the best dad material. Dream daddy who? Cheeky little shit. Is that any way to treat the father of your child? Guess not. Are you certain you haven't married yet? Martin quit quickly. You sure act like it. Don't act like you and Cornelia don't do the same. Well, we come to a consensus fairly easily. We want you two to come stay with us for a bit. How long? Till you two feel comfortable caring for Muse on your own. Bro, we couldn't. Don't think there's room to argue, Dan determined, able to feel the protective determination from the almost brother-in-law. Makes sense, love. You'd be closer to hospital when labor comes along. I guess. Pouting playfully, Phil could not pretend to be mad for long at either men, knowing they only wanted what was best for him and the baby. Honestly, it delighted him that Martin had already assumed the role of protective uncle by opening a home to the three away from their own, for he knew that no matter the preparations from research and family classes, he would end up overwhelmed quite easily. So he swallowed pride and accepted the offer. Don't want my baby brother put on the streets with a newborn, he reasoned, winking in the reflector towards an honorary family member as they turned into the clinic. Well, they'd probably just evict Dan. Surprised they haven't already. I am, 2 feet from you, the youngest man exclaimed, softly shoving his fiancée hand away in a fake offended manner. Do you mind picking up takeaway while we're inside? Anything specific? Pasta, any kind. As long as the meat is chicken, Dan mentioned, grabbing back the same hand he swatted away to drag him out to the lot where they were idly sat. I'll take a cab back to our place after lunch and gather our things, okay? Sounds like a plan. Good luck, guys. Protective arm wrapped around a bulging middle made the effort slightly easier as they stepped inside, checking in with little difficulty when they soon realized how crowded it was in the waiting room. Wanting to stay together, the two were about to settle down a few seats apart after a moment of searching. Phil was met with a feeling of dread as the words formed on the older gentleman's mouth, who was offering up a seat. Ma'am, you and your partner can sit here. Thanks, Phil mused, trying not to physically cringe despite the pain clearly on his face, bending down into a plastically padded chair. Here you are, my beautiful husband. Love, we're not... Oh, sorry, sir. Sighing softly at the sudden change in tone from a stranger who should not matter much, he nodded silently before scooting closer to Daniel. Despite the connection kept between them by a flat palm smoothing over his bulging belly, he wanted to disappear into that familiarity, whom had been considered family prior to them meeting in person for the first time, to escape assumptions over his ambiguous gender. There she is, Dan cooed, knowing it would calm them both during the short wait, rubbing a thumb over where a firm kick had came. Hello. You finally wake up? You're gonna get her all riled up. Isn't that the point? Can't let her sleep through a check-in. Mr. Lester, a slightly younger woman, interrupted, smiling warmly as the couple approached. You and the baby are looking healthy already. That's an excellent start. Can't take all the credit. Certain someone's been tracking everything I eat. Any strange cravings? Salted watermelon and vanilla ice cream, he admitted sheepishly, stepping onto the scale with a shuffle of his feet. Dad's not sold on it, though. 'Cause salt doesn't belong in sweet, silly. Hughes doesn't know that yet. Excuses. Chuckling a response, Phil leaned over to press a soft peck into a dented cheek after stepping down, letting out a hiss of breath when a ripple fluttered over the base of his stomach. Clinging to the other's arm, the pain was brief, yet he refused to let go in case another contraction should come along, looking to the nurse for some kind of clarification as he was helped into position on the examination table. Your body is getting ready for birth is all. Damn, that would have saved us a trip. The younger one quit quickly, rubbing at where his arm had been squeezed. Don't blame her. The outside world's scary. As you can see, I'll have 2 children to mind. Beaming a little at the giggle gained for his commentary, the older one nestled into the thin tissue paper, scrolling absent-mindedly through notifications while they waited once again. Sneakily snapping a candid shot of his partner, quickly logging onto Instagram, not bothering to tag him in order to get a reaction afterwards at the caption, trying not to give away any hints. Confirmed. He is baby. Timing out quite well, the post had successfully uploaded when a firm knock alerted the 2 of the gynecologist, signaling for her to enter after pocketing away the phone. Focused on the doctor, he hardly noticed the soft smirk aimed in his direction, pretending to be innocent, while general questions were answered. Not able to keep all of the brimming tears from flowing, he turned to face his beloved, met with their foreheads bumping together clumsily as gel was spread over the enlarged area for the last time. How is she, Dr. Nelson? Well, she may decide to come earlier than expected, she remarked, pointing toward the miniature head on screen. She's showing signs of what we call dropping into position. Sneaky baby. Like father, like daughter. Blushing brightly at what was being alluded to, he fell into a content silence as the rest of the appointment went along, startled out of it by a jolt from within, his sweatpants in response to a thick hand hovering along his hip. Dan had always been fascinated by the changes that were occurring for both father and fetus, dark brown eyes sparkling with wonder as he looked at the monitor as the touches were registered, meeting the older one's gaze with genuine glee. Through all the hormone changes between being on testosterone for years and the return of a healthy level of estrogen, that pure affection never left, even during the dealing of onset depression. Phil would never be able to voice every little piece of appreciation for how well they were handling the situation, yet he would never stop trying. You're in one of those moods, aren't you? Daniel asked, offering a slow wink prior to turning attention to the doctor. Isn't it close to his due date for us to have sex? Babe, don't you think that's a little forward? That's what she's here for, to give answers. Not at all. In fact, there are many benefits for both of them from intercourse. With that added knowledge, and even rosier cheeks, the maternal father buried his face into the crook of his sensitive neck, squeaking out a goodbye. Now knowing that his fiancée had another agenda for later that night, when they were settled in, to have his arousal die down a little, he plastered to Dan's side as soon as they were once again in the back seat. How'd it go, fellas? About as expected. Philip responded, bringing up and seeing a large back in the passenger's position along with their takeaway. In the home stretch now. What have you got there, bro? Figured I'd make it easier and pick up stuff from your flat. Thanks, man. Is Cornelia fine with us staying over? She's in Sweden for a week visiting her family, but I let her know. You know our home is yours. Content with that conclusion, the older man of the couple cuddled incredibly close to shield the view of his hand crawling closer to a covered cock. Half-lidded eyes watch on their chauffeur to signal him when to stop, stroking in short spurts down to his sturdy thigh, fully aware that they could be caught. Why was that so controversial when that's exactly what had led to the oncoming child? Sharing a family meal together and sorting through their belongings, a huff of impatient breath was released into the air, passed off as a half-hearted sneeze when Martin quirked an eyebrow, curiously thanking his brother for being so accommodating. Receiving a pat on the head that messed up his quiff, Phil excused himself to go check on his partner as the gray sky outside started to violently rumble, knowing the change in weather would undoubtedly muffle their intended activity. Of course she found a candle to light, he gave with a light giggle, crossing the short distance to settle comfortably in the middle of a maroon comforter. Mattress dipping under a bent knee as Dan leaned over to lock their lips together. Been so long. Hope he won't be grossed out next time. Why would I? Stretch marks for one, and baby weight. Philly, love. The younger one started, barely above a whisper, slowly peeling the light top slowly. Okay. Laying a trail of kisses down to the crest of his swollen stomach. No matter how you look, you're my gorgeous guy. You mean that? With all my heart. Soulmates don't worry over appearance when they're completely compatible. I would just like to give a disclaimer for any stumbling that I made, because it is now currently 11:31 at night, and I needed to have this out on a Thursday. So, hopefully next week this won't be as rushed. Thank you for listening, and have a good night. Day, evening, whenever you're listening to this. I'm just saying night because it's night here. Anyway, see you in the next one.